Well, the only thing that would scare Bailey is if they defunded Planned Parenthood, am I right?
Hello victims and welcome to Survivor's Guild, now part of the Mutant Fam Horror Consortium, a community of like-minded individuals working together to create content and build relationships by and for fans of the genre. And stay tuned till the end of the video, that's when we'll talk about the giveaway for the digital copy of Itsy Bitsy. Today we are looking at the 2019 film Haunt. Haunt, written and directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, starring Katie Stevens, Lauren McLean, Will Britton, Shazzy Raja, and Andrew Caldwell. Haunt is about a group of friends and acquaintances who decide at the last minute to go visit an extreme haunt, but get a whole lot more than they bargained for. We open up to a fun montage, sans music, of at least one dude putting this whole haunt together. And after discovering the title to the movie, we get transported over to Carbondale, Illinois, campus housing, where we get our first jump scare of the movie. Bailey goes to investigate while Harper applies cover-up to her eye. She probably just fell. And based on some clues that the movie drops prior to setting them in stone, I'm going to imagine that the dude from Smashing Pumpkins is also the dude who gave Harper that shiner. I'm also going to imagine that that dude will also get what's coming to him, and his name is Sam. Harper then turns on the original Night of the Living Dead because it's public domain. Harper then gets a talking to from her friend about how she seriously needs to break up with the alcoholic / abusive Sam. We learn that Bailey has borrowed Harper's mom's ring and saw the bruise on her face the night before. Her friend Angela, who's apparently going to school to become a nurse and is wearing a nurse costume, confirms this info. They convince Harper to go out with them to some sort of Halloween party at a club where we learn that her friend Mallory is afraid of spiders. I bet that will come back to bite her, pun intended. We are then introduced to Ty and Nathan, and we get an awkward meet cute between Nate and Harper.
Oh, you were just talking to my friend and then you waved me over.
Oh. No, I'm sorry. I was motioning for another drink.
Here you go.
Thanks.
But that horribly awkward moment gets turned into something much more pleasant before we are introduced to the obnoxious Evan. And after that group leaves the club, Evan finds a flyer for the haunt and then sets out to drive them to it, while charging them. When they arrive at the haunt, we see a group that goes ahead of them consisting of 3 girls and 2 dudes. And then our group is introduced to Clown Guy. We will call him Clownface for reasons that will be revealed later.
I got a niece who loves scary clowns, so looking to acquire your services. I'll get a card before you leave. You can pull it out of wherever you want to.
As it turns out, they must sign a liability waiver, which I'm sure will hold up in court, and surrender their cell phones before entering. And as obnoxious as Evan is, he's actually very funny.
Well, the only thing that would scare Bailey is if they defunded Planned Parenthood, am I right?
We are then introduced to Witchface, who takes a hot poke and burns one of the girls from the group that entered before them, before being obscured by smoke. Now this might be presumptuous of me, but I'm going to count that group of 5 right now, since I would imagine that they wouldn't allow any survivors. Evan, Harper, and Mallory take the not safe path and end up in a bunch of webs before realizing that some of those spiders are not fake.
There's like real spiders in here.
While Nathan, Bailey, and Angela notice that there is oil all over the haunt while they walk under bags of who knows what. Evan, Harper, and Mallory come to a puzzle that has 3 coffins, where they must enter the one and close the door behind them in order to pass through to the next room. But Mallory gets more than she expected when a hatch opens over her and spiders start coming through. When the door finally opens, she comes through on the other side, but unfortunately the next section is a maze that they must crawl through. While in the maze, Harper realizes that they're not alone, and Mallory never makes it out of the maze. The other group comes to a section where they must guess the body part, in a scene that successfully builds suspense as each character takes their turn reaching into the holes. When Bailey pulls her arm back though, she realizes that the ring she borrowed from Harper is missing. When she can't retrieve the something borrowed that has become the something missing, Nathan comes over to help her out, and the 2 of them start pranking each other, except Bailey wasn't messing around, and neither was whoever was on the other side of that wall. Ruh-roh, Riggy! That was down the road, not across the street. Cut back to Evan and Harper, who are still trying to get a hold of Mallory, when this dude, we'll call him Devilface, comes crawling out of the maze. But this gentle giant just shows them where to go to get to the next segment, sans Mallory. Luckily, it's just a fun slide to some chainsaw guy. We'll call this dude Mutant Hillbilly Face. When Mutant Hillbilly Face gets too close to Evan, Evan pushes him away only to get a mildly concerning glare. And when they go through the door, they meet up with the rest of their group who are tending to Bailey. When a curtain opens up and we get reunited with Mallory and the Witch. Old Witch Face takes the burning hot poker, classic Witch Face, and puts an end to Mallory. Adding our 6th body to the list. The Haunt, accepting that sacrifice, then opens up a door to their next section. Nathan proceeds alone to try to find something they can use to backtrack, while Evan and Angela try to reach under the fence to grab the fire poker. Nathan enters a room of ghosts, and after dropping the key to the lockbox with all their phones, realizes that he's not alone in that room. We are then introduced to Ghostface. Wait, crap. Shoot. Let's go with Phantom Face. There can be only one! Cut back to Harper and Bailey, where we start learning a little bit about Harper's backstory, in which she grew up in a home with an abusive father. Harper tells Bailey the origin of having her mom's ring, which probably doesn't help Bailey feel any better about losing it. Meanwhile, Angela is busy having her hand crushed by Old Witch Face, but they still get the fire poker, so it was worth it. Nate gets back with Phantom Face, who has keys and seems concerned, but with the costume still on, he also seems suspicious. But he unlocks the door so that they can backtrack a little bit to the exit that Harper saw earlier in the haunt. But the exit only leads to a brick wall. Phantom Face knew that.
That makes sense. I didn't remember there being an exit there.
So why wouldn't you say something?
Well, that's even more suspicious. He also warns them that if they go through the maze, they will have to go one at a time because there's a trap door that gets triggered if there are too many people, which must be 5 people because previously there was the group of 3 and Devilface all in there at once and it never opened the trap door. So one at a time seems like a little bit overkill. The group hatches a plan that fully incorporates the distrust that they have for Phantom Face, except Evan doesn't babysit Phantom Face in any way, so Phantom Face seals the exit. And while Evan flees forward ahead of everyone else, Devilface is bringing up the rear, causing too many people to enter the maze. But Devilface does them a solid and takes out Angela, both from the maze and from living. And then pursues Harper further into the haunt. Unfortunately, Devilface, even doing all he could do, left too many people in the maze. Too many being Nate and Bailey. Shoot, man, how much do those 2 weigh? And Nate falls through the trap door. Evan makes it to the entrance and goes for the lockbox, but in an unexpected turn of events, it's not there, and Clownface has it. Harper, cornered by Devilface, mistakenly calls Devilface Sam.
Please don't let me see it.
Which leads Devilface to postpone killing her at the moment and take off his mask, revealing that Devilface was Devilface all along. And he would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for these meddling kids and their mangy mutt. But seriously, with a face like that, it's no wonder why he works at a haunt. He probably got fired from Wells Fargo. Meanwhile, the real Sam is still trying to find out where Harper is. So Clownface kindly answers the phone and lets him know that he's too late. Oh, and he also has a messed up face. I would imagine it's hard to book kids' birthdays when you look so creepy. So again, no wonder he works at a haunt. Clownface then cooks the phones in a microwave. Dude, you really are a clown. You don't want to cook phones in a microwave. You want to put that crap in the oven. You're gonna get sick, bro. Oh well, let's check back in with Harper and Devilface. Just when Devilface Squared is about to, quote, take off Harper's mask to see what she really looks like, unquote, dude, you're gonna be disappointed. We're all real ugly on the inside. Nate shows up on the inside of the haunt with a poor quality nail gun, but it does the trick and Harper gets away. Meanwhile, Phantom Face is asking Evan and the audience obvious questions.
Do you still want to see my face?
Well, duh! Unfortunately, seeing his disappointing Phantom Face has a cost, and it's expensive. So Evan goes on the list. And while Phantom Face is mutilating Evan's body, Harper is digging through a gross bucket. What are those, like dead cats or something? That is clearly a trap, and finds a flashlight before being plunged into darkness. Fortunate for Harper, Nate finds her mom's ring and also a phone. Oh, never mind. Yeah, don't pick that up, just hide. And despite making as much noise as possible, he doesn't get found. Harper finds herself in a room that must have been designed by the master of booby traps himself, Kevin McAllister. And she ends up getting scared by a dude in a Dracula mask. One of these things is not like the others. one of these things is lame. Nate is confronted by Phantom Face, who is probably pretty upset that the trapdoor he warned them about led Nate to the inner sanctum of the haunt rather than certain death. But Nate, being as smart as he might be lucky, sets the location off on Harper's phone, although he has absolutely no reason to believe that anyone is looking for her. At the very least, not some controlling, abusive alcoholic named Sam. As Harper frees herself from the nail she stepped on, she has a moment to look around at all the sharp objects that are precariously hanging above her. That Dracula face is working to trigger. But while trying to make her escape, she gets caught in a glue trap. But she makes it out just in the nick of time, and finds herself in an escape room. And she eventually finds the key to the final door. But it's time for the boss fight and a flashback. But this time, instead of her dad, it's Devilface Squared. But she takes that neat key and, whoa, careful Harper, you're gonna poke someone's eye out. Oh, and look what you did. And as it turns out, that door was a trap that had a shotgun on the other side. Harper is hurt, but avoided the brunt of the blast and begins crawling her way to what she hopes is the exit, while Devilface Squared complains about his eye. Devilface Squared, upset about the whole eye thing, heads into the gun room to repay an eye for an eye. Oh wait, never mind, he just wants to kill her. Harper uses her thumb in his eye socket and the gun's unlimited ammo to paint the walls with a bright new red and gray, adding the 9th body to the list. A short time later, Phantom Face gets Monster Face ready for their entrance into the movie, which is short-lived, and it turns out that it was Bailey. Well, that's what you get for losing her mom's ring. So anyway, Bailey goes on that list as number 10. But in a massive turn of events, Sam arrives and he's so pissed off that he leaves the door of his truck open when going to look for Harper. There are a couple ways that this could go. He could bust in there and beat up the bad guys and save the day and redeem his character, or he could bust in there and beat up Harper and stay the same, or this could happen. And that lands Sam as number 11 on our list. Now, as if Harper hadn't killed enough people already, we get Mutant Hillbilly Face back with his chainsaw. Can't forget about Mutant Hillbilly Face, but fortunately Nate returns to save the day. But nor can we forget about Phantom Face, and he makes his return as well. But Harper directs Mutant Hillbilly Face's chainsaw onto the gun and pulls the trigger, hurting him in an unclear and mysterious way, but not necessarily killing him. Did she shoot him or explode him somehow? What is happening here? But he's not quite dead yet. Phantom Face then takes that sledgehammer to the head pretty well, making him number 12. There can be only one! As Harper and Nate make their escape, they run into old Dracula Face, who immediately surrenders and offers his assistance to help them find a gun, saying that he didn't kill anyone and that he didn't know that this was going to happen, as well as mentioning that if he killed someone, he could earn his face. When he looks for the gun and it's missing, he then becomes number 13 on our list when unmasked Mutant Hillbilly Face blows him away. Harper and Nate then put a machete and a sledgehammer through his arm, pinning him to the wall for the time being, before they climb up to the roof, only to be met by Witchface, whose face they promptly smash in with the door to the roof, making her kill number 14. And then we see Clownface execute Plan B, burn the whole place to the ground. So even if some of his buddies were just unconscious, they would certainly die in the fire. Harper and Nate get out to the van, and when they can't find the keys, they decide to make a run for it. And when Nate realizes that Mutant Hillbilly Face is following them, he doubles back and makes him number 15 on our list. And after a half thing that happened / half thing that didn't happen, Harper wakes up in the hospital where a nurse accidentally reminds her of the release forms that they signed when they entered the haunt. Flash over to a pissed off Clownface who is heading to Harper's house, but she had got there first and booby-trapped the house all Home Alone style, and shoots Clownface right in the head, ending the movie with number 16 on our list.
Let's take off your mask.
And then the credits roll with a pretty decent cover of Rob Zombie's Dragula. So now, to find out what are your chances of suffering survivor's guilt, this is where we take a look at our main characters and the death that surrounds them to determine your chances of surviving this movie. Starting off with the group of 5 that enter the haunt before the main cast, followed by Mallory, Angela, and Evan. That's a total of 8 so far. Sam and Bailey then make 10, and then the Face Friends: Devil, Phantom, Dracula, Witch, Mutant Hillbilly, and Clown. Last names, Face. Making a total of 16 dead bodies in a pretty little burning pile. Now for our survivors, some of which I wish we hadn't had to count, but I've already set the precedent and there is no going back now. We have the obvious ones, Harper and Nate, but then we also have a few characters that were just barely more than cardboard cutouts, but I am compelled to count them. Ty from the beginning of the movie, the nurse at the very end of the movie, and then Harper's mom and dad, making a total of 22 characters, and only 6 survive, which means that you have only a 27.3 chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, which of the Face Friends would take off your mask? Let me know in the comments below. Also, while you're here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell just so you don't miss any videos coming in. And now for the digital copy giveaway of the movie Itsy Bitsy, as mentioned in the Itsy Bitsy Survivor's Guilt video. I took the names of all who entered and threw them into a hat and drew one out. And the winner of the digital copy is Mike Morbid. Congrats, and I will drop that code in your DMs. Alright guys, as always, thank you.